Hi. One of the best ideas that I've seen is to use custom key names. And in this case, one can select a pattern like custom key name generations. And here we created this feature to add more flexibility for users to define their own key names. And there can be some text added, and later on you can choose one of our placeholders, and then you can add your own separator and some custom text again, and then another placeholder. So it can be a combination of text values and parameters to produce meaningful key names. And in like the starting part can differ depending on the user flow or any other like metadata that need to be passed to the keys. But in terms of placeholder structure, I really like the approach when there is a page name, because page name can help you define the entire user flow in this design file. Then one can add, for example, the artboard name, because usually there is a name given to a screen, and screen can more directly point you to the text elements, to the part of user flow that you're localizing. And then in order to make the key names like unique, then you should include the element name there as well. Since if you proceed with this work, with this approach, then technically, sign up with Google, but your full name will all have the same alias, it's the same parent name and artboard name, but element name really helps you identify the very, very precisely which, part, which text, in which screen, in which part of the journey, in which journey you are localizing. And it makes also more sense for developers, since if this approach can be used on the technical side, because it can help them get in more context in terms of which key names they are working on and where they belong to which part of the app and journey. So if we select the keys, then we have some keys already linked. So in this exercise, we just unlink everything so that we have new keys being proposed, and you'll see that the pattern will be onboarding screen, then this registration onboarding page, then this registration frame, and then the text sign up, and onboarding registration, and element name. The only thing that one should be mindful of is that we take the closest frame to the element into this pattern. So this artboard name is the closest frame. So in this case, if we look into this button, then this text sign up, it lives right under this registration frame, and this is why we get this registration field here. However, if we look into another text, I think that was that text, then in this case you will get top bar artboard name, because this is the closest artboard versus the registration artboard. So it's also something to be mindful of, and sometimes there is a possibility to use either user groups or artboards and frames in design. So if you are sticking to groups, then and there are no frames inside of the larger top level frame, then we will take the top level frame and we will skip the groups, because groups were not selected in this key naming pattern. But if you have lots of nested frames, then it you might need to reconsider this approach or pay attention to the closest frames, to the nested frames naming. And this is basically it on custom key names.